usual. Just stuff to slip on, stuff that you could slip on. Hey, John O'Keefe is supposedly maybe here tonight.
Well, that's just darn fun. I'm glad John O'Keefe will be here tonight. We were hoping to have him.
I wish he were here right now so that when I say he'll be after performing tonight, he'll understand that I'm trying to mock his country in my own incompetent provincial way. But, you know, people, it's funny, when I was getting my MFA, I did a lot of my writing in this one reading room at the library. And the only time I ever got kicked out of a library for typing too hard was on my computer, and I was hitting the keyboard too hard. So somebody else told me that I have to leave. It's just like, I don't know what the deal is with people. They can't come up to me and say, you know, you're hitting the keys a little hard, or maybe you're on a really resonant table or something. They got somebody from the library to come over and tell me that I was typing too loud. And I was just like, hey, you know what? I'm typing as loud as I type. And somehow.
What type of joke was that, Mike?
It was a pica type.
Oh, man.
It didn't quite rise to the level of elite. That's
I'll tell you one thing, it wasn't well written.
It wasn't intended to be a joke. So I guess it worked, huh?
Oh, Mike, it's a good joke. That joke is so hack, I think the Russians got into my pipeline. Well, you know, without further ado, I'm not sure if you've been introduced yet.
Or the joke was so hacked, they're making it into a Saw movie.
Well, you know, I think now that the Longshores are here.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate Suraj on being so dedicated to comedy. He didn't even wait till his bail came for him to do a set tonight.
Right. So Suraj, I'll put the lineup. The lineup goes in the chat. Otherwise, Mike, I've yet to introduce you to the YouTube audience, and I probably should. God. So we'll start the program.
Why do they get to be so lucky? That's what I want.
Well, he puts the old man in Ottoman Empire, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Mike Langworthy.
You know, I just got what you were doing with that. Ottoman and old man. Ottoman. Because it's so unlike, the pun is so off, you know, the mark that I didn't really understand what you were even going for.
Right. It takes a real marksman to hit that one.
Yeah. It really does, Chuck.
I got 2 mild smiles out of you so far. I feel really good about that.
Well, what's the forecast?
Not to crush you or anything, but they're mocking smiles.
No, but I mean, it's something.
Better mocking than stroke smiles.
Yeah, I suppose that's the kind of thing. So I was just looking at these, you know, I write jokes all the time, and hey, and you should use one once in a while on the show, Mike. Am I right? Hey, what? At this point, I've been married so long I wouldn't even know how to hit on a woman. If I did meet one, being a bar, you say, hey, play your cards right tonight, honey, and you could have an old man weeping and apologizing at the foot of your bed. Just curious. Did it hurt during the reconstructive surgery? Women like that when you comment on their looks. Elephant man. No? You know, I don't want you to get a big head or anything, but you're about 15 pounds away from beautiful. This your lucky night. My parole officer said I can start dating women with kids again.
Ooh.
Hey, my ankle brace broke off today. Help me celebrate. Ankle bracelet is what would have made that incredibly funny if I'd said it right.
We completed it in our head.
Thank you. Thank you. I have an uncle with no arms. I think women are interested in your family.
No.
How'd you like to get revenge on your prettier sister? How would it work? You know, on the upside, with this anklet from the county on, you'll always know where I am. No? Are you more comfortable? Are you more comfortable living as a woman? Hey, I bet you have a beautiful picture in the attic. And I'm pitching. This may be my last show, Chuck. I forgot to tell you this because I'm going to LA next week to pitch an animated show.
Oh,
About a couple of carefree rabbits whose lives are ruined in the early 60s. It's called Ruby and Oswald.
Oh.
I'll see you next Monday.
Oh, you will you? Oh. Well, you certainly put me in my place, Chuck. Imagine how bad I would feel if I gave a shit what you thought. Huh? All right. So anyway, this has been lovely so far, but let's get moving.
Did you want to tell those jokes you promised them?
You know what I like? That
It's
15.
funny to be jokes.
That
Just
that
got rid of
15
one of
pound
the
joke.
biggest jokes ever produced in this country after 4 years.
I was just gonna say that 15-pound joke works for the anorexic girl too. I like the way it goes.
Yeah, it works for everybody. That's what I like about these. Are surefire
They are.
lines. I'm giving this. This is mating gold for you. Mating.
Universal appeal. Universal.
I would start. I bet you have a great picture in the attic. Do that one first. That way you can tell whether she's like literarily inclined. Anyway, so we got a lot of comics tonight. A bunch of people came in near the deadline, so to speak. It's not really a deadline, but whatever. However, one of our favorite guys who's here every week made a request to go on early tonight because he's got another mic, and we're not even jealous that you would be doing another mic in another half hour. I guess you can use us to practice for the one you really care about. So welcome. God, I'd make a great talk show host. Oh, no, you have to listen to the people that you interview. Sorry, my bad. Anyway, this next guy is our first guy, and he comes to us from Long Island, and you're going to love him. Those of you who have never heard him before, and those of you who have had, you're going to love him again. Please welcome Bruce Lipsky.
Hey.
Thank you very much.
Bruce.
I almost didn't make it tonight. I have to go to LA and do some pitching of some. Anyway, actually, I dug out this story. This actually a true story. You may have seen this. There's a tribe in Africa that's been distilling gin for over 200 years, and they just decided to change their recipe, and they're adding elephant poop into their mix because supposedly the botanicals are there and it makes a better flavor. But they had a contest trying to figure out what they should name it. I actually won first prize. I decided to name it Shit-Faced. But what really thing is, I decided I to try to help them out and make some more money. I thought they should come out with a soft drink made out of monkey pee. And I decided to call that Dr. Pepper. This is actually a true story. 200 years they've been distilling gin. Who woke up one morning and said, you know, if we put elephant shit in our gin, it's going to taste better. Botanical.
All I can tell you is that's some bad gin.
Yeah, leaves a bad aftertaste, that's for sure. But anyway, speaking of gardening, I live in a town called Floral Park. I mentioned I live on Long Island, and Floral Park is well named because it's famous for its plants and gardens. And all the streets are actually named after flowers and bushes and trees. But given where we live, it just seemed natural that my wife and I should take up gardening. But we're the worst gardeners. It's no wonder why we were named the honorary chairman of the Dead Plant Society. And the way we grow things, perhaps we should not be living on Willow Avenue, but wilted Willow Avenue.
Yeah.
For the past several years, we've spent hours watering and gardening and weeding, and we always get the same results. 4 rotten tomatoes, 2 weird-looking cucumbers, and something that I think is a zucchini. Yeah.
You think it's a zucchini?
Could a zucchini look like a broken finger? I don't know. And a couple of years ago, my wife said, you got to try a new routine. Don't be so cheap. You want results, you got to spend the money. So I bought special tomato cages. I had raised planting beds and a new watering system that cost $3,700. Yeah, $3,700. And you know what I got? 4 rotten tomatoes, 2 weird-looking cucumbers, 1 I think is a zucchini, and a $3,700 green pepper. And for that money, I could have bought out the whole fresh produce department in Whole Foods for a year. But I have a neighbor named Dominic, and he has an amazing garden. He grows basketball-sized tomatoes, 6-foot-long cucumbers, and 6 pounds of zucchinis. So I said, what's your secret? And he said 3 words, red fox urine. I said, what? Red fox urine? Now, I may be showing my age, but the first thing I think of is Red Fox, the old comedian. That's impossible. He's been dead for 30 years. So I said, I wonder if I can use Seinfeld or Bill Burr's piss. He said, no. You need the urine of a natural predator. No, I'm not going there on that one. A 4-legged natural predator. So I said, where do you buy this stuff? Can you buy it online? Is there a website that sells old comedians pee? Is there a site called plentyofpee.com? Maybe I can buy Uncle Milky's pee. I must have a sharp stream to it, that's for sure. So I followed this guy's advice, and I bought this stuff online. It's called Leg Up Foxy Pea. Yeah, Leg Up Foxy Pea. But if you Google Leg Up Foxy Pea, put the word gardening after it, we're going to be taken to a totally different site. Just be aware of that. So I followed this guy Dominic's instructions exactly to the T. I sprinkled this Leg Up Foxy Pea in the garden. What do you think I got? 4 rotten tomatoes, 2 weird-looking cucumbers, and 1 I think it's a zucchini, and a huge patch of greens, what I call weeds. But my wife thinks it's kale. So either we got green weeds that smell like fox piss, or kale that smells like fox piss. Thankfully, I'm not a vegetarian. Kale is the bitter brother of lettuce. So very bitter, like me right now. Right now, I think I'm suffering from kale envy, because my wife is totally into this kale stuff. Called it her new superfood. And, so the way to properly cook kale, you have to massage it. The other day, I saw my wife laying out the towel on the counter for Mr. Kale, turning kale over, put lights on, and burning incense candles. I guess there's only no happy ending for me on this one. I guess the kale's going to be the happy ending. So, basically, I haven't finished the whole joke yet, but I'm trying to struggle with it. That's my time. Thank you very much. I'll get to the bottom of this.
I'm not sure, but I think that set was zucchini. Anyway, Lipsky, if you're clapping, clap a little more. He's great. And I want to keep the show going because we got a few extra comics that came in tonight, and I'm thrilled. So I'm going to bring Michelle Malinzak on, who has been here before and who I enjoyed before, and I'm looking forward to introducing her to some of you guys. So Michelle Malinzak.
Oh my gosh.
Malazaki.
Thank you.
It was typed wrong. I knew your name was Malazaki.
Malazaki.
Malazank. So I try to do what they say on my list.
Oh my gosh, that's too much pressure. like I was here before and you enjoy me. So I brought my bringers. Hello, hello, hello. These are Japanese clay figures, and these are great because they are my friends and they are clay figures. I don't want to be too funny because I don't want to crack them up.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Okay, so I came to America. I'm Japanese. A lot of people come to America for like infrastructures. I had to ditch my very nice bathroom toilet seat to come to America because I wanted to pursue 27-year white boys. Where are they? Not here. They are at improv school. I spent $10,000 at improv school because, oh my gosh, all they have is 27-year white boys. And improv school is like a cult. It's like a cult. They tell you, they teach you. Say yes and. I'm like, yes and. Spent $10,000. 6 years later, I got my first job as an improv teacher. I made $20. My first 20 as an improv teacher, like the return of investment, $10,000,
Sure.
$20. Not working. But yeah, I know Americans think I'm a sucker because they send me stuff like these. Flyers for gold coins. And it says, secure your financial future. Exclusive at cost offer. $50 gold American Eagles coins for $1,800. Wait, it's $50 coin. I'm not that stupid. And I also got another flyer for a $2 bill with somebody's like doodles on it. And it's $58 for a $2 bill, and it costs you $7.95 for shipping. And it says you can cancel anytime. It's a subscription $2 bill that comes every month until you stop it. It's $2. I could draw better. I'm not that stupid. But I love reading. So I was going, one of my favorite magazine is the Uline catalog. Have you ever seen those? It's like a thick, all kind of stuff in it. And oh my gosh, they have urinal cake for sale. And it comes in 5 different flavors.
Flavors.
Yes, spiced apple, lavender, cucumber melon, cherry, and gosh, what's the other one? I can't remember. I already told you cherry. Oh, so there's another flavor, but wow. But I mean, like, we don't have those in girls' bathroom. But oh gosh, guys got cakes in the urinals, and you get to enjoy all the flavors. I'm so jealous. Gosh, what? I was gonna tell you something, but I can't remember, so I'm gonna. And then I didn't bring my reader, so I can't read. Okay. I don't know. Hi. Oh, I teach Japanese, so I'm teaching you. Hi. Hi means yes in Japanese, and that's how I sound like in bed. I teach Japanese at the adult school, and that's what you do when you live in a foreign country and you don't have any skill and you don't want to learn any. I'm so happy to see you tonight, so I'll teach you some Japanese. Okay, let's start with greeting. Good morning. Ohayo.
Ohio.
Oh my gosh, Ohayo. That's
Ohio.
so
Ohio.
yeah, so good. Do you know how to say good evening?
Indiana.
Oklahoma. Such a good teacher. I've been married for 19 years. That shows I know how to do stuff, but I don't know how to undo stuff. My husband is a procrastinator. I told him everybody's getting divorced. And he's like, maybe that's a great idea. We'll do it next summer. This summer is our 10th next summer. I mean, I love my husband to death. I just can't wait. My husband bought an Outback, a Subaru, and he loves it. I knew he was a lesbian. Well, thank you so much. I'm Michelle Marizaki. Yay, thank you.
Yeah.
Michelle Malinzak,
Yeah.
which is Japanese for Chuck, learn how to spell my name. Okay. We also have a guy from the East Coast coming up, another guy from the East Coast, right? You're like living in New York, right, Randall?
That's correct.
Yeah, so Randall Donovan, who is many things in addition to being funny, and I'm going to let him demonstrate all of them to you tonight. Please welcome Randall Donovan.
Hey, thank you. So I used to date my financial advisor. You know, we met at the market. You know, I was buying and she was selling, and you know, I felt that there were some real bonds between us. You know, and I figured, what the heck? I'm a pretty good commodity. I'll ask her on a short date. You know, that was kind of my stock line at the time. Yeah, I told her she had a nice balance sheet. You know, she said, I don't know. The whole thing sounds kind of speculative. I told her, listen, I'm not looking for a one-day trade. I'm looking to buy and hold, you know. So we dated for 2 fiscal years. And you know, one Black Friday, I got up the nerve to pop the question. Yeah. I asked her if she was interested in a merger. I was really liquid that night. Anyway, she rejected my IPO. So I started dating another girl, Elizabeth. You know, her friends called her Wall Street Bets. You know, she was fun for a while, but now I found out she was short selling me behind my back. You know, and so you know, I margin called her on it, but then she went all crypto on me. You know, and then I lost all my interest.
Hello.
Okay, I feel like you guys are not really invested in this bit. Music. Okay, my girlfriend is woke. She's also selfish. Kind of interesting combination. You know, her pronouns are I, me, and mine. You know, she refuses to drink 1% milk. You know, she says it tastes oppressive. You know, I said, listen, Emma Goldman, you know, when you're fighting capitalism, you got to drink that stuff slow, let it trickle down. You know, that's how you fight the man. You know, she's really radical too. You know, this past election, she voted for Nicolae Ceausescu, you know, who's both Romanian and dead. You know, the other thing is she's a 9/11 denier. You know, she thinks the whole thing was staged by James Cameron. You know. You know, I'm not going to stand here and dispute James Cameron's cinematic abilities, but come on, 9/11 seems more like a Jerry Bruckheimer thing. Okay, I come from a broken home. You know, we tried to glue it back together, but you wouldn't take. It was kind of sad. I was 86 from a coffee bar in Brooklyn because, you know, I didn't know the difference between Zeitgeist and Weltanschauung. I was really humiliated. It was awful. I think someone was talking about Seinfeld before. I don't got you guys remember a few years ago, Seinfeld kind of got in a little trouble. He made some joke about, like, you know, when you're scrolling through your contacts on your phone, you look like a gay French king. And, you know, people got upset. And I think rightfully so, because, you know, enough with the jokes about the monarchy. you know, 1789, you know. So every time a famous person dies, you can bet that one of my Facebook friends will will put a picture of themselves and the dead person. And it always say something like, "This is my friend Nelson. He was a great guy. We rest in power. We got hammered at a Bennigan's in 1997. He loved corduroy pants. He dug my harmonica playing. Nelson, you were the best." And I'm thinking, wow, that's a beautiful tribute, man. You really caught the essence of Nelson Mandela. You know, there is a big music scene in Afghanistan. I don't know if you knew about this. They've got the Kabul Stones. They got this guy, Weird Al Qaeda. It's very popular. And they might be jihadis, kind of more of an underground band. Yeah, I was never good at sports. My classmates used to tease me because I struck out all the time. Kickball's a stupid game anyway. I mean, who needs that? Okay. Oh, real quick, I just flew in on Liberal Airlines. Before I boarded, they made me check my privilege. And then at baggage claim, they couldn't find it. I was waiting like 3 hours. And, finally I asked for the manager and I said, look, this is really bad. I think you owe me some reparations. And she said, listen, Tyler or Brendan, whatever your name is, get out of here. And I'm getting out of here. Bye.
Here you go, Randall Donovan, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Randall Donovan. Not only he can do that out of one page of the thesaurus. But Randall, love you. Look at it. See, now I can tell that they're all CDs. They don't look like CDs in this picture. It's in the small picture, they look like cassettes. Anyway, lovely job. Our next performer comes to us all the way from the subcontinent, if you will, which is funny because you say that in America and people don't even know what you're talking about. They don't subcontinent. Is that where like subs come from? So it's Papa John's. Is that what? I don't understand because we don't know geography. We just live in the United States and we're proudly ignorant.
Who's geography, Mike?
See what I mean? And Chuck's got a master's degree. He's got an MBA, so he doesn't know where it is, but he'll know how to sell shit to him. So it's just, what don't you have? What don't you have? Just tell me what you don't have. I'll get somebody else to ship it. All right, whatever it is, this guy is great. You're going to enjoy it. And like I said, he likes to wear orange and he looks good in it. Americans, we don't. We just look like we should be picking trash up off a highway. But not this guy. Please, round of applause for God's sakes. Coming here all the way from India. His name is Suraj. Suraj, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Yeah, let him have it. Let him know.
Thank you so much, Mike and Chuck, for the welcome. And yeah, and for the roasting as well. Why not? But can you all hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Yeah, just say yeah.
We can.
Okay, great. Because I do open mics regularly, and I had a 3-minute spot at another open mic, and I was like performing like with all the gestures, body movements, and energy expressions and whatnot. And I was getting the laughs too. One of the audience members, he gave me a feedback, and he was like, Suraj, I really love your energy. I really loved your performance. And the best part about your performance, the highlight, you were on mute the whole time. Yeah, sadly, not for my jokes, not for my delivery, but I was on mute. I mean, I was disappointed. I'd come to do stand-up comedy, not to be, I don't know, Charlie Chaplin or do hot yoga over there. I don't know. I mean, that's what it came out to be over there. But yeah, so I'm basically in India right now. It's early morning here. It's 8 a.m. And I woke up at 7 for this show. Like my mom would be so proud. And at the same time, she would be very cunning also now. Now she'll know how to wake me up in future by telling me, look, the next US open mic, get up, get up, get up. But yeah, typically, like people would ask, like, aren't you supposed to be asleep at this time? But being an Indian, the question would be, aren't you supposed to be at the call center giving advice, like to Americans on fixing their refrigerator or microwave oven or something like that? No, I don't work in a call center or in Amazon. Let me just tell you that. And yeah, I see someone has put in the chat, I pronounced his name wrong. That's right. So my name is actually Suraj. Yes, Suraj. So I'll make this as easy and as polite as possible for everyone in the room. Just split it into 2 words, Sue and Reg. Sue as in, I will sue you if you don't get my name right after this. And Reg as in like short for Reggie, Reginald, or maybe register this in your damn memory.
Right.
To Reg. Like every open mic, it's either like Suraj or Sura. Like Sura, like I'm an Indian. I'm not a Hispanic, though I might look like a 70s Mexican gangster. Oh, somebody definitely agrees with that line. But it's not Surah. The J is not an H basically, and it's not Suraj. Like, please, my name Suraj means the sun in Hindi. Please don't turn it into some special anger issue by saying Suraj. Beautiful name it is. But yeah, so yeah, and usually when I join these open mics in the US, like this is probably my 10th US open mic, I usually find another Indian or 2 along with me. And when I first joined, I was surprised. No, I'm the only Indian, and I was seeing only white people initially. I was initially worried whether I logged into the right room or whether I accidentally joined, I don't know, a Make America Great Again room or something like that. I was really worried. Then I saw Michelle and I was like, okay, this has to be the right room.
Nice.
By the way, good job, Michelle, on your performance.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, so during the daytime, I'm a working professional, and at night, I'm basically performing stand-up comedy. So I probably think I could call myself probably the Batman of open mics. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Batman. I may not be as rich. I may not be as rich as Bruce Wayne, but I surely have a mask actually that I can actually wear. Just see for yourselves. Can you see?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is how rich I am basically. And I'll probably go like, this is not the joke the open mic deserves, but the joke that it needs. Yeah. Where's the laughter? Tell me. Where's the laughter? Tell me. Where's the laughter?
I suddenly don't feel as bad about mispronouncing your name.
No, I don't know about that, but maybe you might not want to call me Batman, but more like Bagman.
Oh no, you did not.
He did.
Yeah, but that's it. Oh yeah, so I have like less than a minute left, I guess. So I just want to quickly say, like, I have long hair, and now with the lockdown and pandemic, we have to wear masks, right? So I have to wear this mask every time I go out, as you can see. And it's a challenge because there's a street called Fashion Street in Mumbai where you have plenty of street sellers for cheap clothes, jewelry, and whatnot. And one time I went out, and one of the guys there was like, "Madam, would you like to buy this dress, please?"
And
after seeing my chest hair, the little bit of chest hair that I have, he was like, "Oh, you're a dude. Sorry, go, go, go." This guy is a dude. What was I thinking? Like, you didn't have to laugh for that. You could have just said it normally. I was getting checked out because of him, more than the girls on the street. But I think there's an advantage actually having this long hair and wearing a mask, because once the lockdown eases in Mumbai, I think I should be able to get my free drinks every Wednesday at my nearest pub, because it's basically ladies' night every Wednesday over there. All I have to do is just cover up my facial hair with the mask, obviously, and
Yep.
drink like this. Yeah, this is how I'm going to be drinking, guys, so that my cover doesn't get blown.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess that's been my time, guys. Thank you, Mike. Thank you all. You have been a wonderful audience. Welcoming. Back to you.
You're very
Thank you so
welcome, Suraj. Suraj, I don't know what Suraj's last name is. It's probably an anagram for a real word. Anyway, very funny, Mumbai. I'm sorry about all the problems you guys have been having with the pandemic lately in India. We've read a lot about it over here. Well, who am I kidding? We're Americans. We don't read about shit. But, you know, we would be if we were at all interested in any other part of the world. Thanks for coming. Let's give him one more round of applause, people.
Hey.
God sakes. It's Suraj. Who the hell came up with Suraj? Who said that? I mean, that was stupid. What kind of a moron says Suraj?
It's okay.
I do. That's who does. That's the problem. Well, you know what? We usually stick around afterwards for a little while and chat about comedy or just, you know, stuff. So if you feel like it's Suraj, please hang around for the rest of the show and join us to chat. Later on, you can explain to us the nation, the concept of another nation. And in the meantime, we'll bring on some more comedians. Another guy who came to us all the way from someplace you probably can't trace. Please welcome, if you will, Chipp Jones.
Hey. Oh, so Suraj, you know, the first thing that came to my head was Johnny Cash singing that song, "A Boy Named Suraj." Do you remember that? And then I thought it was kind of heartless of Mike, you know, to speak to a person of India about the master's degree. I don't know. I mean, it seems kind of hurtful. But then I didn't care anymore.
Degree.
I know, but then I didn't care anymore when he started talking about coming in the room and he didn't see any other people, you know, that weren't white except for Michelle. It's like, I'm a black man, just to let you know. In fact, I suffer from long hair as well, you know. So, yeah. But I never have that problem when I wear my mask because of my beard, you know. It looks like a girl in a bikini in the 70s, you know, just popping all over the side. I've been in sort of melancholy mood, you know. Mother's Day last Sunday, and my mother passed in 2018, so it was reflective, you know. And, you know, you have good and bad things. I thought about when I was a teenager. I was 18, living in Memphis, and my sister, who was 16, had just gotten her license, and she was upset because I got a car when I turned 16. So she was always bothering me to borrow my car, and you know, I let her, and that turned out to bite me in the butt. One day, my mom asked me to take her someplace after I had loaned my sister my car. And as we were driving down the street, I came up on a stop sign kind of hot. So I pressed on the brake pretty firmly, and a whole bunch of pink champagne bottles rolled out underneath my mom's seat. And, you know, it was back in the 80s, so it was before people were woke. And my mom looked down at those pink champagne bottles, and she looked at me and she said, "Are you gay?" And I say, "No, Mom, I'm just drinking and driving." She's like, "Oh, thank God." I was like, oh. I did notice after that all my pink button-down shirts disappeared. So I don't know if she ever, years later with a grown son and married to a woman, I don't know that she didn't really think I was gay, but she in her later years became a hoarder. And I guess what I found out is that she actually had been a hoarder all her life, because my wife and I had to go through all the stuff that she had and get rid of. And she had racks and racks of clothes. I mean, dresses with the tags still on them. And I could tell these dresses were old because they had like matching go-go boots to go with them, and they're all like in avocado green and what's that, goldenrod gold. It's like these dresses are from the 70s. But it made me think that there ought to be an app, or a website for people that are dealing with old parents who are hoarders, where instead of them buying stuff, from the home shopping network and stuff, they just buy stuff back and forth between each other, just like hoarder trading back and forth, but I don't know. I have been restless at night lately, and having these weird sort of things, like when you're dozing off and your mind is just rambling. The other night I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking, wow, I wonder if Oprah's eating a snack, I know that I'm feeling hungry, and she's probably an hour ahead of me. Yeah, wonder if she's eating like Weight Watchers. Maybe I'll have a beer. I wonder if there's a Weight Watchers beer. You think Oprah drinks beer? I don't know. And I'm thinking like, what's up with Stedman and Oprah? Stedman's like a weird name, Stedman. It's almost like instead of a man, is Oprah gay? Is that what it is? Is Oprah gay?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, if Oprah's gay, I really do need a beer. I don't know. So I don't know how the mind works like that. It's goofy. It's just goofy. And I guess, I have been thinking, the way stuff is going with all these suppression laws and stuff, that race relations are really bad in America, and I got a real insight into it. A couple of days ago, I was in downtown DC, and this little white 6-year-old girl was walking in front of me, and she looked back and saw me, and she immediately took her purse and moved it to the other side of her body, and she clutched it really tight. And I got to tell you, it made me sad. I think mainly because it meant I had to throw it to the ground to snatch it. So, yeah, racism not working out for either one of us. I think that's my time. I thank you guys for listening. And if you want to, you can reach me on my social media. Back to you, Mike.
Yeah. His Insta handle, I believe, is the term the kids are calling it. It's Chipp Jones. He's Chipp J. Chipp J. Don't forget two things. Anyway, sure.
Hey, you pronounced it right. Way.
I figure if we were going to give you a name when we brought you over here, we might as well memorize it.
Jesus Christ.
That's the way I feel about it. That I'm pretty woke. Pretty woke for a lot of people don't know that about me.
That's right.
Because I like to think of myself as a white witch, but apparently a pointed hat with eye holes cut in it has a completely different connotation in a lot of places.
That Mike, he's a master of class. He sure is.
He certainly is. I'm a klaxon of comedy. Be that as it may, we're talking about crazy stuff here. Crazy stuff. This show's out of control.
That's right. I'm just going to sit here and clan up. That's what.
No sense dragging out our dirty laundry, huh? What I mean to say is, David Dukes will be proud of both of us tonight. But let's not talk about that.
I know.
The last thing we want to do is start being racist and anti-Semitic on a night we're doing comedy, for Christ's sake. We have 6 days of the week to do that.
Hey, there's
Jeez.
there's good people on both sides.
There's good anti-Semites on both sides.
Jesus.
Plenty of wonderful anti-Semites live everywhere. Hey, speaking of anti-Semites, this next guy comes from South Carolina. I didn't know if I was going to be able to work an organic reference to one of the plagues of our universe for 1,000 years, but I was able to turn it around. We're in a Rubik's Cube of comedy, baby.
There we
Talk about
go.
getting an education. I hope Suraj is learning this because he's going to have to deal with white people one day, and he's going to. Anyway, our next performer, originally from I don't even know where, New York, it might be my guess, because he's got that East Coast sensibility. You know what I mean? Dog whistle, dog whistle. And now he lives in South Carolina. I'm sure you're going to love him. Please welcome David Zasloff. David Zasloff.
Thank you very much. Well, talk about anti-Semites. I am now living in South Carolina,
Oh.
and I was a little scared to come here. Thinking about, I'm coming from the Bronx originally, and then I'm moving to Los Angeles, and then South Carolina, and I thought it'd be all a bunch of Nazis, and I haven't met one Nazi.
Huh.
It's pretty interesting. Or anti-Sem. Well, I don't know, man, about the anti-Semites, but I did a huge gig here already, and it was really cool because, well, for the virus, and the virus really doesn't exist in South Carolina. But I said to the audience, I was scared to come to South Carolina, and I was afraid of the Nazis and anti-Semites and white supremacists. And I'm Jewish, and I really wasn't going to talk. I wasn't going to say to anybody that I was Jewish. And then I just happened to say, about 150 people there. I said, any other Jews here? And you could hear a pin, nobody. Everybody looking around, no Jews, I'm the only Jew. And everybody was, I felt some people feeling sorry for me. So I said, oh, well, shalom, y'all. And from that, it was a great gig. It was an hour gig. It was just a fucking great gig. I had a great time. It was so good to be back in front of a live audience also. One of the first things I did when I got here was I put my Buddha up outside my office window on the lawn. And I thought, Jesus, anybody ever seen a Buddha statue? My second thought was someone's going to shoot that fucking thing. Fucking target practice. Buddha, fuck Buddha. I meditate. I love to meditate. I've been meditating for years, and I realize I meditate really better when I have money. I have my own mind. I have my own form of meditation. It's called transcendental hesitation. And I made up my own mantra, something I say to my brain over and over and over again. I say, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. So I was thinking about, I wrote a book. I think I've talked about my book. It's called The Complete Book of Everything, Part 1. Second edition. And I wrote about time because I know everybody's got a watch and phones, and then we keep time. It's important. Time is such an important thing to us. But then I thought, when you take the human mind out of the equation, there is no time. Without the human mind, there's no time. And there were 3 scientists just got the Nobel Prize because they proved that in black holes, there's also no time. So there's 2 places. There's just no time up there. People invented time. I was thinking people invented time so they would know, or they could estimate when they were going to die. Figure out your insurance rates and shit like that. And no other animal kills times or wastes time. And I think we're just another animal, but no other animal wastes time. And the basic needs of all other animals The basic needs are breathe, eat, shit, and die. And the basic needs of people are breathe, eat. What time is it? Shit and die, fucking die. Talk about time some other time. Here's what an amazing thing that I experienced. I was in Seattle and I went to the zoo. And as comics, I'm talking to comics now. This is so cool. I saw a gorilla doing comedy. Gorilla was in an outdoor cage. He only had 3 jokes, which for a gorilla is a lot, I guess. I don't know. But
Headlines.
he was in an outdoor cage, about 40 people watching, and his timing was impeccable. His first joke, he's walking around, builds the suspense, and then he stops, he bends down, and he puts a finger in his shit. And, and the whole crowd just fucking cracks up because, everybody in the world probably has at some point or another has put a finger in their shit at one time or another, so they could relate, they crack up. And I could see the gorilla absorbing the laughter. He heard the laughter, and it's making him feel better. It gives him confidence. And he went to his second joke, and he lifted his finger to his nose.
No.
He sniffs his shit. That's his second joke. And the audience is fucking cracking up. And I'm watching this gorilla. I'm thinking, this motherfucker is getting laughs. He's doing what I do. Third joke. That's all he had. The killer joke. He puts his finger in his mouth.
Oh.
And the crowd turns on him right away. They just, oh, fuck. No one's going to cop to that. I thought that was his best joke. The crowd is not laughing, and they start to yell at him. They call him a perverted. He's weird, disgusting. And the gorilla senses he lost his audience, and he picks up his shit and he flings it down. And they all run away. Boom. Lost the audience completely. But there's all these new people coming in the zoo. They didn't see him fling his shit. And the gorilla is standing there. And he sees he's got a new fucking audience. And he started his show all over again. Same 3 jokes. Same fucking 3 jokes. Gorilla did 30 shows a day. And I'm thinking, I wish I did 30 jokes a day. And here I am stealing his shit, right? fucking amazing experience. Anyhow, I think that's my time. I'm not really sure. I'm not keeping time at all. Anyhow.
Yeah, I kept time. It's about your time.
All right. My time is up. Love you guys. Love being here. Thanks.
David Zasloff, ladies and gentlemen. I like the comedy. The shit finger in the mouth, though.
I
totally raised in a different era when you didn't
I totally didn't see you doing that, Mike.
No, I came up in a different time.
No, I thought you were going to tell him I like the comedy, but we're going to book the gorilla.
I love you for that, Chuck.
We get started again on.
I think Chipp wins.
On a new show where we need gorilla. The chimp juggles, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. It's a very talented zoo down there, South Carolina. They've got a chimpanzee that juggles, and they have a gorilla that eats his own shit, and then of course the closer is always Lindsey Graham. So,
what cruise ship is that?
All of them.
It's the
sounds like a log cabin for Trump cruise.
that is funny. It's cruise to Skull Island, or as they call it in South Carolina, Skull Pussy Island. Right. Anyway, you know what? That's just gross. Why am I even going there? Why would I do that? Why? Because I don't care. It's as simple as that. Yeah. So our next performer, one of our guys who regularly comes and works on material here, and I always enjoy it, and I know you will too. Jeffrey Burden II. Give him a big round.
Thank you so much. Hi. Yes, everybody. I have a 5-year-old grandson, and I just want to tell you about how much he cares. It's evening. We're laying on the floor. He's playing with his tablet. I'm doing my crunches. And he says, "I love you." And I turned and looked at him, and he said, "I was talking to the dog."
Oh.
Gonna work on some one-liners. I'm gonna work on some one-liners, and I believe our very funny Chuck Roy is gonna recognize some of the first half of these jokes. So I beg your patience, and here we go. I was in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I played a SHIELD strike agent. And they were in pursuit of Steve Rogers. No, I was not in the elevator scene, but I have been in an elevator, so there's that, right? Right. That really was not a one-liner at all. It was like that was a sonnet. All right, Jeffrey. Let's see. My wife and I took out life insurance policies on each other. So now it's all about who murders who. Really, that's what. Yeah. We're desperate. We're desperate, guys. Working with people has changed my life. So over the years, I have tried to do less of it. Really. Doing a bang up job too. I was unemployed forever. Let's see. Condoms aren't completely safe. A friend of mine was wearing one, and I still managed to get his wife pregnant. So there's that. Nope.
Not how it works, Jeff.
Oh,
I feel bad now.
Marriage is great. It'll calm you down. That and tranquilizers. Let's see. My mother told me I'd make a bad father. It didn't bother me, though. I don't want to marry my grandmother. Well, she's deceased. It wouldn't work out. Let's see. And everybody, I had a really a great week of coming up with awful material. I'm really proud of myself. And my name's Jeffrey Bird II. You all have been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Woo! Hey.
Hey, those are some good jokes, man. I don't know what you're bitching about, for Christ's sake. Didn't you listen to that gorilla shit? I'm kidding. Come on. It's my back. Just trying to keep the show moving. You know what I mean? Our next performer. Now we're actually getting off the continent. You know, we've gone to the coasts, both coasts, and now we're headed to Europe, which I think is also still in the throes of a pandemic a bit. Anyway, a lot of you people who have been here before know who this guy is, and you're going to like him if you didn't meet him before. Not that you wouldn't if you have met him before, but you will. And his name, not surprisingly, his name, not surprisingly, is James Longshore. I started to go a different road, and I thought it was a bad idea. Especially with
how many roads must a mic walk down before James can get to his set? Okay, hi everybody. I have missed you. It's so great to see you guys. I can't believe I only have 5 minutes. You only give me 5 minutes. I'm much funnier than 5 minutes. Really, you're lost. Like last time. What?
Said you can start any time now.
Oh, no,
No, spend as
I'm
much
gonna
time as you want.
actually wait.
I apologize.
Well, no, I have to catch up because I have to do, like I said, 5 minutes is not enough time for me. Last time it was 4:20 I was here, and I didn't even get through all my 4:20 jokes. So I have a couple more.
Okay.
To answer Chuck's question, I was the victim of a hair accident. And that hair accident was going to a Romanian barber and not speaking Romanian fluently. Happens to the best of us and me. So what do stoners fight over in a divorce? Anybody?
The bond.
I don't want to give you too much time.
Okay.
Joint custody.
Hello. James Longshore, everybody.
There you go.
So this next one is also a safety tip. It's a state safety tip. What should a stoner do in case of fire? Anybody?
Light one up.
Close. First, he's got to stop, drop, roll, and then he can use the flame to light the joint.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you. So this next segment is called Puns and Nuns. Puns and Nuns. The first bit is specially for Mike. I was at the dentist the other day and I got a quick look at my file and the name was James Langshore. James Langshore. And I thought, well, I might be Langshore, but I'm definitely not Langworthy.
Ooh.
How does one become a doctor of hypocrisy?
I don't know.
You do now. Takes the Hippocratic Oath. I think 2 lips are better than 1 lip. All right, so I have a wedding coming up this weekend and I need to get some alterations to my tux and I need them quick. So I am gonna call the world's #1 pop star, Taylor Swift. I had my last one was for Oog, especially for Oog, son of a bag, and he's not here tonight. So gonna skip that one because the only other person in his age range is Mike. I'm gonna conclude by saying Mike likes to say that I have never met a pun I didn't like. And that's true. I have, however, met a nun I didn't like. In fact, I've met a few. They're just not nice people, and I will have none of them. My mom is here tonight. I'm glad that went well. It's Mother's Day. My mom is here tonight. So for my mom, hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Everybody. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Happy Mother's Day.
Hey, Mom.
Happy Mother's Day, Mr. Longshore.
Yeah.
My birthday is this Thursday, May 13th. So growing up sometimes, like my birthday fell on Mother's Day too. That always sucked.
Perfect.
Yeah,
All right. I'm going to end with random country names put into a sentence.
okay.
Can you grease turkey? I'm seriously hungry. Iran. I'm James Langshore, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you.
Yeah.
He's changed his name to Langshore. I love it. That's all I say. I ran so far away. That was a famous geography-based song in the 80s. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. One more round of applause for young Mr. Longshore, ladies and gentlemen, who brought his family with him tonight.
His mother, John. He brought his mother, John.
You know what? You don't mock people for their preferences. You don't make people are who they are, Chip. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I get you.
Okay, good. And apparently I'm 30,000 years old. So that's the way life goes. So, Chuck, let's split that screen and make a couple of announcements. What do you say?
I think that's
no, I gotta let Jonathan.
right.
Jonathan perform.
Your show, however you want to do that, sir.
No, but I made a mistake. I fucked up, man. I fucked up. Our next performer is a long time, until tonight, a long time friend of mine. I said, sure, I can let you perform tonight. Or I can say every possible thing I can think of and then maybe let you perform. So I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do instead is bring him right up. We were comedians back in the olden days. Back when you had to be funny to get a laugh. Am I right, people? Which is why I never got any. Anyway, our next performer is a lovely guy. Lives in California now, teaches stand-up comedy, and has a right to do so. He's done very well in many different areas of the comedy business. And he might tell you a little bit about it tonight. Maybe he won't because he's modest. Please welcome Jonathan Solomon.
Thank you. Great to be here. Well,
Yeah.
no, I should say great to be here because here I am where I always am these days. I'm in my studio / Zoom studio / office / I never understood. I have an office and it had an alcove. And I never understood why does a large square room need an alcove? And then COVID came and I went, that's why it's got an alcove. So here I am. And just for the sake of, it's also a comedy club tonight, we could say, I have a mic and a mic stand, but I'm not going to use it because it's muted, or as we used to say before COVID, it's not plugged into anything. So we're just put that aside. So as far as the career goes, I'll just go right through my credits, Mike, and not be modest at all. I was on the David Letterman show a bunch of times. I hosted a morning show on MTV and I had a kids show on NBC. Then I wrote for Emmy-winning sitcoms and variety shows. And now, yes, I teach comedy at a community college, leading to the obvious question, what the fuck happened? But we don't have time to go into that now. So I'll tell you a little about myself. Jonathan Solomon, you may have figured out I am of the Jewish persuasion. I think it's actually a religion as well. And my name is Jonathan Solomon. That's actually my show business name. That was the name I went with to seem less Jewish. My given name, my family name, my born name is a Hanukkah ben circumcision. I'm also, as Mike said, we've been around for a while. I'm old. I'm getting very old, and I've reached a new plateau of old, I think. Which is there's various stages of old. There's a stage, in your a teenager, and then your 20s, young girls stop looking at you, and then sometime around your 30s, young women stop looking at you, and then sometime in your 50s, all women stop looking at you. I've reached this new age. I'm 62. Los Angeles police have stopped looking at me. Because the LA police are not lax at all. But now I can make a U-turn in my car across 2 lanes of traffic, and the police will be, I can do it right in front of a cop, and the cop just sort of rolls up and they sort of look in my window, and then they just go. And I always imagine like there's some rookie cop in the passenger seat talking to the guy who waved me on, who's like, he's like, it's an old guy. He's probably in a rush because he's got to pee. I've been doing stand-up comedy a long time. I started out in comedy in 5th grade in math class. By the way, this is going to be a joke, and then I'm just going to take it back, but you can go with it. I started out in comedy in 5th grade in math class. I had my feet up on a desk, and the teacher said, "Do you do that to the furniture in your own home?" And I said, "We don't have crappy desks like this in my home." All right, now I just tell that joke because it's not true. That joke was actually said by an actual person. His name is Danny Kilcommons, and he was cool. He was a cool kid. And I went up to him after he said that joke, and I said, "I'm going to be a comedian someday. And I'm going to do I'm going to do your joke." And he said, "Great." And then he stuffed me in a locker. because he was a cool kid. Comedians were not, I don't want to speak for any of the guys on the show and the women on the show too, but we're generally, I would say, it's fair to say, not the cool kids. We're not the cool adults either. I mean, I met a woman recently. I sort of picked up a woman at Ralph's during this whole pandemic. I met a woman at Ralph's on an aisle, and then we had a date on Zoom, which was good because then I got to find out what she looked like. And I did this thing which I try to do with women, which is I just wanted to share. I told her I was a comedian, and she sort of had this sense, I think, that I was sort of fun and cool because I was a comedian. Just so you know, comedians aren't fun and cool. We will not like tell jokes. We tell you we're depressed and we wish we'd been musicians. That's pretty much where we're at. It's good. The getting used to performing on Zoom, doing everything on Zoom. I don't know about you folks. I've been gathering with my family a lot more on Zoom, and I don't know. When you gather with your family direct from their homes on Zoom, you learn things about your family. It's like there was one time, sometime in the fall, and I was like, no wonder Aunt Sally's always been so much fun. She's an alcoholic. I had always thought she slept on the lawn because she was outdoors. Other family news, my nephew has announced that he's gay. Not sure what the pandemic had to do. Something arrived from Amazon. He went, I'm gay. But
Garland.
Yeah. The family's good about it. I did get a chat from my Uncle Lou, who's sort of old and sort of the family troglodyte. He said, when I think of two people of the same sex, it makes me sick. So I put back in the chat, why are you thinking about it? Yeah. Then I typed back, Lou, when I think of you and Aunt Esther getting it on, I get pretty nauseous. So family chat. So he's gay, which is fine. It's just hard to, I don't know about you folks, but it's always hard to accept another person's sexuality, because generally who we are so that. So I knew Andrew was gay, way years ago, and I knew before he was gay. Before he knew, excuse me. But it's just odd when you're with someone who's, like sometimes I'll be with a gay friend and I'll go, I know you're gay, but just look at the way that woman's skirt wraps around her ass. And they'll say something like, yeah, that'll happen with linen fabrics. Not what I meant. How are we on time, Mike? I know we don't want to do, I think I know what I'll wrap up with. I really know what I'll wrap up with tonight.
Never mind.
What's that? Never mind that. Yeah, I'm going to tell, because we got all these comedians. So I want to tell, well, first for everybody, because we got a YouTube audience out there, maybe. I want to tell a story right now about a young man or a young person who, despite difficulties, maybe feeling estranged from his family and his culture, he spoke his truth. And I think that's important for all of us, the artists, the comedians. But I will not tell that in a long, laborious story. I will tell it in the form of a joke, and you'll have to figure out how the joke includes what I just said. So here it is. So there's a baby polar bear. And the baby polar bear is in the middle of Antarctica. And the polar bear goes up to its dad and says, Dad, am I 100% polar bear? And the dad says, of course you're 100% polar bear. We're in Antarctica. There's Eskimos. There's penguins. There's icebergs. What would you be but a polar bear? And the little polar bear said, sure, I'm not a grizzly bear. And the father says, no, you're a polar bear. And he said, sure, I'm not a koala bear. No, if you have any doubt, go ask your mother. So the little polar bear goes up to its mother and says, Mom, am I 100% polar bear? And the mom says, of course you're 100% polar bear. Look, we're in the middle of Antarctica. There's icebergs. There's Eskimos. What else would you be? Sure, I'm not a grizzly bear. No. Sure, I'm not a koala bear. The mother says, I promise you, son, you're a polar bear. Why would you have any doubt that you're a polar bear? And the little polar bear says, because I'm fucking freezing. So, and then I want to end with a joke that I'm going to try to modify for Zoom, because it's such a great comedian. It's a joke that only for the comedians, right? A comedian, it's what known as a comedian joke, that only comedians are supposed to get it. But I'm going to try to You know what? I don't think you can. I'll fuck it up if I try to modify it. Okay, so let's pretend the pandemic is over. So there's a comedian performing in Vegas. Forget about modifying it. We're just going with the normal. Okay, so this is my closing joke for all the comedians, and you may have heard it, but it's fun. So there's a comedian. He does two shows in the lounge in a Las Vegas hotel. And then he goes back to his hotel room. And then a little while later, he hears a knock at the door. And there's he opens the door and there's a gorgeous woman at the door. And she says, I just saw you perform. And I thought you were funny and sexy and brilliant and intelligent and interesting. And you opened up new worlds for me in my life and the way I think about the world and the world around me that I never considered before. I want to come into your hotel room and do things to you sexually that you asked me to do and things you've never imagined. And the comedian says, did you see the early show or the late show? That's it. That's all I got, comedian.
Hey-o.
All right, man. You know, Jonathan Solomon, ladies and gentlemen. One more time for Jonathan Solomon.
And can I just say my highlight of the show?
Sure.
Emma Goldman. There was an Emma Goldman reference. I mean, I wouldn't have missed this.
Jonathan, do you recognize me?
I'm sorry, Randall, but no. I'm
Raphael Dlugoff from the Village Gate.
Oh my God! Now I do. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm yelling. Hi, Raphael. How you doing?
John used to play my dad's nightclub.
Oh. Yeah. Wow. Oh, nice to see you, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's great. I'm so glad we got the Village Gate and now we got Emma Goldman.
Emma Goldman, yeah.
Yeah. Can I? Yeah, Mike.
I worked at the Village Gate too when I was first starting out.
Oh, really? Probably in the early 80s.
Randall, Robbie, I tell a story all the time about the night we did a benefit with Dick Gregory and William Kunstler. Do you remember that?
Wow, that was probably not a special night that I didn't book. That was Randy Credico there?
Yep, that's who it was. Yeah. You know what? I just realized there's a show going on.
Oh, yes.
Having a private conversation.
I was hoping he was the beautiful woman at your door in Vegas.
Hey.
Oh, we've all changed a lot over the years.
He said that he was going to modify it for us.
Well, how do you tell that joke if it's somebody sees two Zoom shows and then they see, I don't know how it could work.
No,
joke.
you can't. You just do it as it's just, you know.
It's
So we're going to do it, Joe. You should come to the Apocalypse in 2 weeks when we do that. Gig was so bad. There's a round. Everybody has a, you know, and I'm leading it off with that gig was so bad. Nobody asked who booked it. So Chuck, let's share the screen for a minute and make these announcements real quick so we can bring Chuck on for a little. And we have a special guest, Dani Rieldel, who came in straight from Greece. And she's been doing the announcements at her parents' high school. And if you don't know what it is, Google a fucking movie. Sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry.
First, we got to play a quick game of true or false, Mike. True or false?
Go for it.
Just got to guess, Mike. True or false?
False.
I'm not sure yet. Could be true. Could be false. Looks like you're right, Mike. It was false. Way to go.
Thank you.
Mike, you win one of these prizes. You may only pick one.
I will take the ancient hard drive.
Awesome. All right. Good for you. Way to win. True or false? We have more prizes to give away, Mike, but first we better plug shows. Largest audience we've ever had on the YouTube channel. And that's mostly because my friend Fred is watching. And he's 436 if he's not 300 pounds. All right.
He weighs an ounce. He weighs 436 pounds.
Mike, briefly, you are an active supporter of Magic Moments Incorporated. You write plays for them. Do you want to tell the folks at home about Magic Moments?
Every year, I help to write a full-length musical review for magicmomentsinc.org, which is a special needs friendly show has a large cast of 150 to 200 people in it, aged from 4 to 80, and of a wide range of abilities and special needs, from professional level performers with Broadway credits to people who are incapable of speech or walking. And they find a meaningful way to use everybody who's in the show. And all of the music comes from either ASCAP or BMI, so you can be sure that the melodies will be memorable. We repurpose the lyrics to tell the story of the show, and there are people. Chuck has been to the show and can tell you that that the show is produced on a pretty high level, a very high level considering how inclusive it is.
Yeah, really good show. And Stacey Sanders from Elevating Connections is watching, so she's really enjoyed a lot of the comedy on the show, including Jonathan. And I think she said she liked your jokes, Mike. I can't see anything about it, but I'll check the comments again.
Well, they're probably not there. She's probably so bored with praising me and so gun shy about the implicit criticism of you.
She laughed at the puns. I know I'm causing trouble. My Big Fat Apocalypse wedding starring Jessica Misra is May 16th, this Sunday. We're going to have a lot of fun with her. And then the series finale, the series finale for the Apocalypse comedy show, 7 Brides for 7 Apocalypse. It's going to star Stephen Young, and Oog, son of Og, will be there for the grand finale. And I think we have some more fun coming up, Mike. We want to make sure we say thanks to our VIP customers. That includes Chipp Jones and the Longshores. So we want to make sure you guys get
Langshores. They're Langshores.
Sorry, the Langshores. We got you a sandwich with some chips. I thought that would help with Chip. Chip would like to have some chips and a sandwich. Also got you some raw fish and chips. Not sure why I wanted to do that, but chocolate chip cookies. I thought that would help. Also,
correct me if I'm wrong, but Chip figures prominently in that bit.
Mike, I think you're picking up on this.
And on chocolate too. So that
right. It's not all over the bit. There's a microchip involved somewhere, and then a couple of poker chips, and a pretty good hand. So
Yep.
I think we did, and
And
a salad, Chip. There you go, Chip.
There we go. There
You
we
got
go.
yourself a salad. So thank you for being terrific VIPs. I hope the Longshores enjoy their salads as well. Langshores, excuse me. And for those of you in general admission or watching on the YouTube, including Stacy and the rest of the gang watching on YouTube, we got to this. Not sure if you get the riding mower or the street light way in the back, or the guy, or all of them. But
Or Wilfred Brimley on the.
Yeah, it looks like one of the guys from Ghost Hunters. So if you have a paranormal thing you need fixed, and then got you this. We made these leftovers out of Mother's Day dinner.
Absolutely. Those are all.
So
those are
enjoy these leftovers and a salad.
Gotta have a salad. You gotta have a salad.
Right, and then I think that's. I think we did it.
They're all from an ancient 1950s television show called The Kale Storm Show.
Well, thank you for that sweet pun. Stacy said she's laughing, and that your puns are funny, and other various comments which you can review later.
When she knocks on your hotel door, she'll.
Right. And Mike, you're right. The only thing I can't get pregnant is a pause.
Yeah, we can, but you can't. There is something you can, right?
Right. I don't know how you do it, Mike. I didn't have Facebook for 2 days, and I missed 4 weddings and a funeral. I think that's the plot of that movie too. I'm not sure. And I'm sorry you noticed, but you're right. I am getting fatter. I'm so fat, I need help folding my clothes.
Gotten big is what you're saying.
Huge and old, Mike. Old.
Chuck, are you old too?
Mike, every time I go to bed and lay down, I'm prostrated.
Oh.
You're ashamed of getting old too. I get that. You know. I get
Speaking of a shame, that Jenner's running for gold in California in the runoff, and man, she puts the Karen and Caitlin. Speaking of elections, if your ballot has bamboo in it, have you been bamboozled?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd like to know if Caitlyn Jenner, how Caitlyn Jenner managed to still be a dick. That's what I'd like.
That just stays with you, I guess. You know, you've been so full of good advice lately, Mike. And I did what you said. I took my new twink out for a night of fun, and turns out Polk City is not a gay bar.
Oh God! If you'd only asked me. If you'd only asked me, Chuck.
Right. There's something okay about the way they spell poke.
Try that after introducing some guy named Stu Reg.
Right. Sing it with me now. You put your right hand in, you take your right hand out, and you call it Polk City, and they tell you that's not what it is.
Just off about the rhyme scheme. Just off.
I'm gonna work on the Polk City dance. Not the only teacher of comedy on the show. Good to see Jonathan. He teaches at my favorite community college. Don't tell Community College of Denver what I said, but Santa Monica Community College, that's a hot school. I teach comedy at the Community College of Denver, where spelling cunts. Oh, Mike, that joke needs an O in it. If I still have a job, there's a little debate over my title. Apparently, I'm not a professor. I'm what they call adjunct faculty.
Yeah.
And when they told me that, I said, when's that going to heal?
He has adjunctivitis.
Oh my God, I'm taking that. I'm just taking that.
Oh yeah, it's fine. It's your joke. It's really your joke.
Here's one you can have, Mike. Somebody screwed up my paycheck 6 weeks in a row. And on Friday morning, I woke up and noticed that the error, which was promised to be corrected, had not been corrected. And I wrote a very short and simple email, which I guess was terse. I've said, not paying an adjunct faculty does not align with our school's mission. And later on in the day, I realized I had just typed the sweetest fuck you that I think I ever had in my life without saying fuck you. All right, no joke there, just a story from work, I guess.
No, you know what? It's interesting. I can see people's faces. You were probably focused on the camera. I could see people's faces. They were interested.
Right. Glad you had your eyes open.
Struggled, but it worked.
All right. Well, I've enjoyed this. I have some new material, and things are working out all right for me, Mike. I have a seminar coming up. I'm teaching a humor comprehension symposium at the Woke Police Academy.
Oh no!
Can't wait to get that done.
That's called the Woke. We get rice bowls for lunch every day.
Right. Well, you've been a rice bowl of fun, my friend. Thanks for letting me borrow your stage.
Chuck Roy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay.
He is tons of fun whenever he performs, and he's getting closer to actually the drift in the two senses of that term. He's
oh, fuck you. That joke does not align with our mission, Mike.
Close enough me to fuck me. That's the problem. Let's not even talk about that. Why? Because I don't want to. And because it's my tiny little Luxembourg of comedy that I run here every Monday, and I want to maybe it's a Liechtenstein of comedy.
Right. Speaking of Liechtenstein, Brazil is watching, by the way.
Brazil, really?
I'm not shitting you, Mike. Just Gabrielle Victor from Brazil.
They're not
Just
shitting me, but they're shitting all the time with the COVID down there. And anyway,
right. Well,
why do we talk about that? Why?
because you're trying to wish them well. You're an aware person.
And I know things, but I have no
Right.
sense of what's right and wrong. And I get
Right. If you had sympathy, that would have been the time to use it, but you have something close.
But, I always figure that out a beat too late, because if it's not organic, it just doesn't come to you in time.
Right.
Let's bring our next performer up.
We should.
From another show. We actually should put it on our business card. The open mic, everyone's second favorite. where everyone wants to go to the one they like better, or come late because the one they like better is on at the same time. It's great. It's fine, because I like that. I'd rather be second place than third, for example. All right, anyway. This performer comes to us all the way from Philadelphia, the sister of brotherly love. It's also the city of brotherly love, interesting, But at any rate, brotherly love is involved. That makes it interesting to Chuck and for the rest of us as well. Please welcome, if you will, Dani Rieldel. Dani.
Thank you very much. I have an interesting fact about living in the city of brotherly love. Actually, it's not about that at all, but you just made me think of it. I had a great weekend. I went to my sister's birthday party.
Sweet.
She turned 40. And growing up,
You're a much older sister. Yes, go ahead.
Well, see, here's the thing. Growing up, I never knew I had a sister. I thought I had a brother.
Oh.
But my sister, Jessica, whom I love so much, had her 40th birthday party this weekend, and we called it her gender repeal party. Great. All right. So I actually, I feel like this is a safe space, and I trust everyone here. So I want to share a story with all of you as briefly as I can, just something I need to get off my chest. I didn't have a great time in my childhood. I was part of this pretty big, dramatic, and pretty cruel social experiment that they were doing at the time, called high school, public high school. Not a lot of us came out of that fully intact. I had a particularly bad time, though. There are bullies. People ask me a lot of the time why I don't have children, and I just say, have you met children? They are they are horrible, especially to one another. I had one thing in high school that kind of kept me going, and that was my boyfriend. I had the best boyfriend in high school. He was so hot to me. I mean, it was like, we were these angry punk teenagers, and he had everything I wanted in a man. He was just, just the right amount of underweight and pale. Like me, always had a t-shirt on of a band no one fucking heard of, spiked his hair, looked like Sid Vicious. Sid freaking Vicious. Oh my God, he was so hot. And naturally, when you're 15, your mom doesn't want you to date Sid Vicious, especially if your mom is my mom. And let me tell you something about my mother before I tell you what happened here. My mother, who didn't want me to date Sid Vicious, is basically my mother's the witch in the story Rapunzel, who kept Rapunzel in the tower, but Jewish. So I wasn't allowed to date Sid Vicious, and the way we handled this very brilliantly, I thought, was that we would sneak around at school, because you can't keep us apart at school. So
Right.
we would find little places to hide, and like, during study hall and after school before the buses would leave, we would basically just find a way to cram in any little tiny bit of pathetic teenage sexual activity that we could. I even skipped detention sometimes to do this, which worked out well. And I got detention a lot. I got detention a lot because I was always doing stuff like reading Noam Chomsky books in math class and going on political rants. I'd come home from detention. My Jewish mother would always go, "Young lady, that mouth is going to get you into trouble one day." I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, today." Hey. Yeah. So Sid Vicious and I would sneak around, and I'd get out of detention. And one day we found a little nook behind a staircase, very well hidden, out of view. And well, let me tell you one thing about my boyfriend in high school, Sid Vicious. This guy was about 6'2" and weighed about 100 pounds soaking wet. And so his body hadn't quite grown into his dick yet. It was like a butternut squash growing out of the crotch of a skeleton. And we found the perfect place to hide after school one day so I could play with it. And it was the perfect place to hide. As it turns out, that's also the place that his science teacher went to hide to smoke weed after school. But found me with a mouthful of butternut squash. And I'm still 25 years later, not sure what was worse, coming back to the bullies or going home to my mother after she got the call from the administration that Sid Vicious's butternut squash was recreationally in my mouth after school.
Oh.
But here's the thing, you guys. Mom, after all those times of there's only so many times you can say to me, "Young lady, that mouth is going to get you into trouble one day," before I'm going to take some artistic license with it. How that self-fulfilling prophecy plays out. And the school, as far as the school is concerned, it's like, I just want to understand what the fuck your deal is here, because every time something comes out of my mouth, you keep me after in detention, and the second something comes in my mouth, I get 3 days off. Get suspended for 3 days. And here's the real kicker, you guys. Grew up in the 1990s. I'm a comedian now. That was the first time someone stole my material, because a year and a half later, some White House intern did the same damn thing. Bullies still didn't leave me alone, though. Anyway, thank you very much for the time tonight. That was a story that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Dani Rieldel. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, it's Dani Rieldel. It's a Sid Vicious fulfilling story, by the way. So anyway, Dani was great. Everybody was great tonight. I really enjoyed everybody. I should probably list off your names, but it's such a hassle to acknowledge others. So, we had people from India, South Carolina, which is farther away somehow. I don't know how. And of course, also Romania, which is the Bulgaria of Greece. And God, I don't know. Maybe Romania is the most civilized place. I don't know. To me, growing up watching vampire movies, not interested. I've got to be honest with you. I don't want to go there. I don't want to hang out there. I watched White Tiger over the summer, and I have to say India's lost some of its luster.
Oh.
For me. Sorry, man. I didn't make the movie. But it's lost some of its luster, and the star is married to a Jonas brother. So, man, that's a Dick Wilter from way back. At any rate, that's neither here nor there. It's actually a very good movie. Doesn't paint the rosiest picture of Mumbai, but that's neither here nor there also. Anyway, we all had a wonderful time tonight, didn't we? Didn't we?
Yay!
Chuck was funny. I know, just go with me on this, okay? Chuck was funny. Right, everybody? Longshore really went for it tonight with that laugh just now. Chuck was funny. It's all right. And this his last appearance on the open mic show. I'm glad that he laughed like that. At any rate, and Donovan loved him. It's so great to know that his father used to own the Village Gate, which is a very famous jazz venue. Oh my God, very famous jazz venue. I almost saw Thelonious Monk there one time, but I went to see him at the Vanguard instead. Fascinating, huh? My life is just fascinating. So, but anyway, this I think brings the regular show to a close.
We just need to do the silly photo.
Oh, we still have to. Yes, we have to do silly photo.
Everybody should do their.
Like Emma Gold. How do we pose like Emma Goldman?
I have no idea. How do we?
Noam Chomsky.
So everybody pose like
Emma Goldman in one show.
Yeah,
so,
we got some references in this show. There's some smart people doing this.
Right. So everybody pose like Emma Goldman.
She was not an LAFF riot as a human being.
Yeah.
So, you're not gonna. She's actually interviewed in the movie Reds a couple of times.
Yes, I'm paraphrasing, but she's made one of the great quotes that all progressives should get through their heads, which is she essentially said, "If I can't dance at your revolution, I'm not coming," which is.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Right. If I can't dance, you can keep your revolution.
There you go.
Right. So can we just take the photo of us dancing at our revolution? Mike, you want to count down? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Nice job, everybody. We'll say goodbye, YouTube. Bye, YouTube.
Speaking of dance.